Hello, welcome to the Devlin Bishop Show featuring Corda. I don't know, I feel we need to add that or something because you are part of the show. It's just weird saying, welcome to the Devlin. I don't know why I worry about it. Johnny Carson never worried about it. None of the Dave Letterman never worried about, getting Paul Schaefer in the title and everything like that. So
I
I
don't
don't know
think I
why
don't think they did the title.
I don't know why it keeps me up at night. So because Heather's constant messages saying, I want to be in the opening
Oh,
credits.
yeah. Right.
And if you believe that, then you don't know this show. But thank you for pressing play anyhow. I wanted to get another one in. We were going to do one just before Christmas, but it got just so busy and crazy. And I just decided no. And I decided let's do one just before New Year's. And we can end the year off on a high note where you can grab a snack or I'm obsessed. I think people don't watch us that much because I'm always pushing snacks and drinks. Like I want people to get fat. I think I would actually get more rich from if I got a quarter every time I said grab a snack, grab a drink,
Well,
rather than reading.
you have to start pushing specific snacks and thing if we get merchandise.
Hey, if anybody's watching and they want me to I am not above being a advertising whore. I'm drinking orange juice.
Everyone grab Doritos,
Oh,
Oh
I'll
yeah.
do whatever. I'll use a personal massager on myself while I'm doing this. We may have to change the settings, but we are an adult channel. So if you're kids, get the hell out. No.
Right.
So how was your Christmas? Did you survive it? Everything
Of
went
course.
well?
Yes, it was excellent. How about yours?
I, it was great. It was fun. I got to it was very small this year, so I didn't get to see a lot of people. I have a very small bubble, but I talked to a lot of people
Yeah,
and I got to do the mix and mingle, which was very nice. We haven't got a chance to talk about that yet.
that's true.
And I got spoiled. I got a lot of wonderful personal gifts. I'm wearing one right now. I should show it off because
Oh
you
yeah.
gave it to me.
Yeah.
This is our first Mondo Nostalgia merchandise. We've done Damien and Devlin merchandise before. Because we did have Mondo Nostalgia business cards before. No, we didn't actually. They were Devlin's radio show.
That's right. They were.
But I don't know if that even counts. Does a business count as merchandising?
No, I don't think
No,
that
it will. Yeah, well,
I don't
okay.
think someone
Heather
else
says
would
no,
buy.
so I'm wrong. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, I love this shirt. This is wonderful. It's not mass produced yet, but who knows? If we get people saying, hey, I'd love to wear that, that would be great. But
Definitely.
apparently it might need my picture on it because, we used to do a podcast and I'd throw a picture of myself.
Yeah.
I didn't do that well, but now we do these and we actually get pretty good hits on it and
Yeah.
stuff.
I'm impressed.
So let's talk a bit about some Christmas stuff that happened. The mix and mingle. Thank you if you were one of the people that turned up. If you weren't, we're going to I'm going to try to do a lot more watch parties and stuff. I say that, but I really should have one planned. I'm thinking about one maybe this week or early next week, but I don't know. We'll talk about that a little later. But I want to talk about this. I hope YouTube doesn't give me trouble for it. But we Count Devula actually did Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. And I want to talk about this because I want people to still be able to go see it.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's a movie you don't need to have to be the holiday season to watch. But I do want to thank, well, obviously Corda for putting it together, but I do want to thank Luther Griggs, who was one of my guests earlier. We're hoping to have him again early because we love talking movies with him. But he has a watch party and he apparently had some people watching it. And yeah, and it was great. And they claim, I had to keep asking because I was like, Luther really liked the movie and they actually thought it was pretty great. In fact, they didn't think it was, really bad. They actually thought it was actually pretty good cult, which I do agree, though I do think it's pretty bad. Maybe because I had to watch it 2 times this year. One as Count Devula and one as me making sure it looked good. But so thank you, Luther, and any of the watch party who tuned in, and hopefully it inspired you to go watch other Count Devula stuff. Because I did ask, did they like the Count Devula stuff? Because he claims they actually did, so they thought it was kind of a hoot. So that's good. That's all I go for, is to get a hoot.
Yeah.
But the problem was we tried to do this on YouTube.
Yeah.
And we sometimes put things up, and the reason we don't make money on YouTube is, well, because we don't get the hits or subscribers, but also because we post a lot of stuff that we enjoy that tells us, yeah, but you won't make money on this when you do. And we still put it up because we're just proud of the content. But the weird thing is we checked into it, and Santa Claus Conquers the Martians had no problems.
Yeah.
Then we posted all the Santa Claus Conquers the Martians with the Count Devlin stuff, and suddenly we had problems.
Yeah.
It would play in most countries except our own, Canada, which was weird because I could go on YouTube right now and watch about 5 copies of Santa Conquers the Martians in Canada.
Mhm.
Nobody's blocking them, and I can watch it, but guess whose?
Yeah.
So now I've got this thing where I don't even get to see what my comments are on it. In fact, I did, because somebody commented and I got it on YouTube. So I'm sorry, I got it on my Yahoo telling me somebody commented, and I could actually click on it and it'll tell me. But it's weird that I can't even find it when I go looking for it. So for my American or your UK friends or whoever, you can still watch it. But for the other people, we put it on what is the site? It's called
The Internet Archive.
Internet Archives. And it sounds like a stodgy old museum. And so maybe that's where I belong more. I think I found my audience, because Corda just looked it up and she said that we had 77 hits.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how big Luther's watch party was, and power to him if he's got 77
No
people.
kidding.
The truth of the matter is I don't know who watched it, or if people watched it for 2 seconds and said, oh, what's this clown doing? But I don't care. I'm going to thank them anyhow, which is highly unlikely they're even watching this. But I am so filled with love, I will thank them anyhow. So we're going to try putting a couple more things on that archive and see if it's just a fluke or just people really wanted to see Santa Conquers the Martians. So. And you can still go, if you're in Canada, want to check it out, go check it out on Video Archives. Maybe you can put a link or something in the thing.
That's a good idea.
People don't. Yeah,
Sure.
Let's get the numbers up that I can't see on YouTube. But if you watch it on the Video Archive, I'll see them apparently. So, and look for some new Count Devlin stuff coming up. And we will do another movie, probably not till about March. But there will be some more public domain movies that hopefully we'll be able to show in Canada.
Yes.
So anyhow, that's all we really need to talk about. There is still some new content coming. Not quite as much this week. We did take the time off, but when we say take the time off, you guys see it like, boy, they're getting slack. But we're actually working on January stuff as we talk. We've got trivia, we got misunderstood movies. So we're going to have another full month coming up for you. Okay, done the housekeeping now. So New Year's is coming up. And it's funny, New Year's is not my favorite. I think when I was talking with Sarah, I told her that New Year's is my least favorite holiday. I don't know why, and you know it because I've always told you that. Now, I've always tried to analyze why. When I was younger, I used to go out for New Year's, and I always got a weird feeling. First of all, I think it's weird for people that spend so much money on tickets to go out. Like, obviously this year they're not, but in the past, and they get drunk and they worship 1 minute. Well, maybe it's a minute and a little bit because if you count Old Lang Syne.
Yeah.
But anyhow, in the meantime, sure, you're eating, you're drinking, you're partying, but you could do that. You did that at Christmas. You'll do it again in the summer. But you pick big things, and then people put all this resolutions, and usually they don't keep them.
No.
Most of them can't remember them the next day because they were so abbreviated when they're like, I'm smoking, and so, but for me, I didn't go get falling down drunk. I usually just go to some friends but I always get an overwhelming homesickness that I never felt anytime I was out there. I always just felt I should be home right now. And even if Mike was with me or I had all my friends with me, I just have this overwhelming sensation like I do not want to be here minutes before. I remember we went to a relative's house and, we had a good time playing games and stuff. But I remember 5 minutes to midnight, I leaned to Mike and I go, what's the appropriate time you leave after New Year's? Because I want to get out of here at like about 12:03.
Yeah, I was just thinking 12:02-ish.
But I have a feeling when you're at people's houses, you gotta at least stay till 12:20, 12:30.
Yes.
I know some people probably party into the night, but I'm just like, yeah.
No.
I'm actually trying to reach for my coat when Old Lang Syne's being sung. Lyrics are anyhow. Um, I should actually do, no, I'm not going to give myself more work than I want. I said I should do a poet's corner for Old Lang Syne, but I don't think I can pronounce most of the words.
Oh yeah.
But so anyhow, but I was thinking about it when we were getting ready to talk about stuff for this show, and I'm like, I started not going out on New Year's, and then I started doing stuff called scavenger. That's not what it was. It was kind of like
I can't remember now what we called it.
It was like. Pardon?
Was it Refugee
What?
New Year?
Yeah, I don't think that's an appropriate word
No,
anymore.
I don't
but,
think it is.
but I did it, and what I used to do was I opened up my home.
Yes.
And I said, anybody who doesn't have plans, come over and we'll watch movies.
Yeah.
And then as the years progressed, we watched movies, played games. As it progressed, we actually invented the video dance party at one of these New Year's parties when it was just the three of us.
Mm-hmm.
And your daughter, I believe, was there that year.
Probably, yeah.
She was, no, we won't say anything. But she liked music and us at the time, so it was a little easier there. And we realized, boy, we can really open up the house. And so I think about it, and I think, why do I still hate on New Year's? The truth of the matter is the last couple of decades have actually been nice.
Yeah.
And being the host, I can get everybody out by 12:10.
Yeah.
I think that's sufficient time. As an old guy, I can use the excuse like, hey, I don't make it to midnight most nights. So,
right.
So, once you hear Old Lang Syne, you hear ABBA playing Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
Yep.
That's your sign for it's time to grab your coat. Then, traditions came from it. As I said, the video dance party was born. Game nights became more. We kept saying, why do we just do this on New Year's? And we did that. My nephew Jonathan usually calls me right after midnight.
Yeah.
And, I'm hoping he calls me this year. But it's not like he's going to get a hint because I know he's not watching this. But, I can hope. I didn't think he'd call last year, and he did. And so it's pretty much one of the last things we have left of our traditions and stuff. So I'm hoping. But ironically, I don't know why I hate on it so much. Last year was probably one of my all-time favorites because we had it was a small group. It was just the four of us, but I never had Damien over, and he's like a son to me, and it was nice just having him there. I just never thought he would be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this year New Year's is going to be very different. Obviously we can't do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling New Year's is going to get right back to my least favorite. But I don't know, maybe I should stop hating on New Year's so much. But I've been going through my head about what New Year's could look like this year. And I've had everything from, having a little get together with my bubble, which I normally do, which might happen still. Then I had an idea that, well, if there's other people that aren't doing anything, maybe that would be a good night to do a video dance party, like ring in the new year, but who would want to join me? on that.
Well, if nobody else is allowed to go out and do anything, probably a lot of people would want.
Yeah, and I could be like the savior, like baby New Year's.
That's
Maybe I
right.
could wear even a towel around me because I'm not putting a diaper on. Um, but then again, there's a side of me that says maybe this will be the first year that I go to bed before midnight.
Oh.
Then Jonathan will call because I'll be awoken.
Yep.
And I'm very seriously thinking about that because to me, New Year's is just another night.
Yeah.
The biggest part of celebrating comes with, counting down 10, 9, 8.
Yep.
Technically, I do that at all the dance parties anyhow when we put the clock up for watch parties and stuff.
Cool. So we could do a watch party and we'll have it end at like 10 o'clock so we can all get to bed. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that too. I was thinking that, Then I thought, maybe I'll just do a chill out on January 1st or something and just play, more relaxing music or something like that. But yeah, not being a big drinker or something, maybe this is the year that I go to bed early. As I said, that'll probably be the year that Jonathan will still call me because I'll be nice and sleep, and
Yep.
I wouldn't mind that. That would be a nice way to wake up and stuff. But I don't know. I don't know. Of course, if you're watching this and you are like, hey, that sounds like a great idea. Not the part of me going to bed, the part about having a New Year's party when nothing else happens. I don't want to make any promises here because it's a lot of work with that. And then, I don't even know how I begin to line up the fucking New Year's thing. Because some people get commercials, some people don't. So it's not like I could do that. So I don't know. But anyhow, maybe I should stop shitting on New Year's too much because I've actually had some really good New Year's.
Yeah.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions planned?
No. I don't usually do them, so.
Yeah.
If I'm going to try,
Well,
I'll do it when
my only advice, and I don't want to give too much advice because my next life lessons is going to kind of deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
But my advice is if you do make some, just for tradition, and like everybody's going to be looking for what little tradition we can have.
True.
Don't tell everybody what it is because that's your surefire way of not following through.
Yeah.
And if you do make a resolution and you break it by January 3rd, don't beat yourself up about it.
Yeah.
So anyhow, we do have some movie news to get to. We're going to start off with Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen it. I don't have HBO Max. And even if I wanted to tempt going to a movie theater, I am in current lockdown in Hamilton because that's also some new news that happened where we are in lockdown. Pretty much all of Southern Ontario is for the next month, and Northern Ontario, I think, is a week or two or something like that.
I think, yeah.
So, yeah, we're in one of the hot spots. So movie theaters, they were closed even beforehand. Don't get me started on that.
I know.
But Wonder Woman has come out, and the reviews are all over the place. I can't give, as I said, a personal review because I don't have HBO Max and I don't have the opportunity to go to the theater, so I'm going to have to wait. I am still hoping that they'll put this out on DVD or Blu-ray, and then I can watch it like that, or hopes that things start clearing up, but I have a feeling we're still a couple of months away from that if I'm going to be optimistic. And that's as optimistic as I can get.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is how it's doing. And right now, nobody seems to frickin' know. Honestly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the news people are posting very positive things. Like Wonder Woman was the biggest opener in the pandemic.
Okay.
It made $16 million, which that's an embarrassment if this was regular times, but in pandemic times, that is just under double what Tenet made, which made about 8 or 9 in its opening weekend.
Okay.
It's made about 85 million worldwide. That's with everything included, which again, they're promoting as really great numbers, but at the same time, really sad numbers.
Mm-hmm.
One of my big problems that I have with Wonder Woman going right to video is that it took so long for us to get a female-led
Yes.
movie.
Yeah.
I still think that Ant-Man and the Wasp was out before this, I think.
That might have been. I just don't
No, I think Wonder Woman was still first, but Ant-Man versus and the Wasp was out before Captain Marvel. That's
Right.
what I'm thinking.
That's what it was. Yes. But Wonder Woman
So
was.
it was a big deal, and it was a good movie, like a great movie. Wonder Woman was amazing. Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, they did an awesome job. Patty is director, Gal Gadot was Wonder Woman,
Chris Pine.
and people loved it. And then I hated the fact that, you know, here we now have potential for, you know, women-led movies, superhero movies can make all this massive money and do well at the box office and give little girls their icons they've been waiting for. And then we decide to throw Wonder Woman 1984 as a test subject. And now it's going to make way less the money it should have. And everybody's still cheering it on, but there are people thinking, well, okay, I'm thinking, we're just kind of undermining what Wonder Woman did originally.
Yeah.
And now they have announced that it opened really soft in China, and China is pretty much has a lot of theaters opening. And again, they promoted it as like, oh, in China it made this much money. I think it was 16.
Oh.
There was a Chinese movie that actually beat it out by double its points. Now, sure, it's their own movie and stuff, but you know, America has really been hoping for China because China is a huge market, very almost close to the North American box office, but and lots of movies have hit there. But Wonder Woman, not only in its first weekend was a soft open for 1984, it made considerably less than the first one. But nobody talks about that it lost about 90% of its audience in the second weekend because everybody's just trying to post all the positive stuff because of the fact that they want to make people think that theaters have a good chance of survival. And even though secretly, I think a lot of the people that are putting this out there want theaters to fall and we could be streaming and stuff. And I just, it's funny how people pat themselves on the back for not having cable anymore, but they're now buying all these streaming channels and they're realizing that they're turning this into cable. Because, you know, people said, yeah, but with cable, you got these packages where you got these channels you didn't want. I'm paying exactly for what I want. Yeah, but a lot of the content you're watching is not stuff you want.
Yeah, you don't.
Stuff on Disney Plus that they haven't put on. And it's like, you know, so they still get to control what you see. You know, you could be watching Home Alone one week and then it's off the next week. So you have no control over that. So anyhow, here we have this amazing, you know, franchise. Then the other thing is all we saw for weeks before this movie opened is how the critics are loving it. But now that the movie's aired and many people have saw this movie for free, you know, and, you know, they're happy that they, you know, saved money on it and don't realize that, you know, I'm glad people got to see it and watch it, but, you know, personally, are you hurting the franchise? Maybe a little bit, but hey, it was Warner Brothers' decision. So if you have HBO Max, I'm not trying to guilt you to not watch it.
Oh no, of course.
Honestly, if I had HBO Max, I might watch it. But the thing is now the reviews are coming out and I'm seeing a lot of mixed reviews, and suddenly, you know, all the reviews out there are starting to fall short, and people are wondering if maybe Warner Brothers knew that this movie wasn't as good as the first one. Now, again, I don't care. I will watch it and judge it on my own merit. But a lot of people saying it has a different tone than the first one, and not just the whole 1984 aspect of it, but apparently it's not this action-packed Princess Warrior movie that the first one was. And a lot of people are finding that a little disturbing. Now, how Warner Brothers decided to play this was the week it opened on HBO Max, because they don't share what numbers. I think they said something like 50% of their subscribers watch this. For
Okay.
me, that seems very low,
It does.
you know?
Although it was Christmas,
It
so
was Christmas Day, but a lot of people go to the movies on Christmas Day.
it's true.
Hey, a whole bunch of people went to see it at the theaters.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's why it had the highest opening.
Yeah.
But the problem I had is that Warner Brothers came out and said, we are doing a third one for sure, and we may even have a fourth one coming up too. Now, this is funny because Patty Jenkins, who, gets just as much acclaim for being the director, and she deserves it, for Gal Gadot playing Wonder Woman, that she's already said she's kind of stepping away for a couple of years from this. She
Oh.
has other Wonder Woman stories, but
Mhm.
she wasn't exactly a big fan of all the HBO stuff. She's
Yeah.
now also bad mouthing him about saying that she didn't really have a say in the finale of the first one, which was considered the weak bit
Okay.
in the new one. So it's interesting. And to me, everybody else sees this as kind of like, woohoo, we're getting more Wonder Woman. It must have been a hit. But I have a feeling it just means we don't know if we're going to make our money back.
Yeah.
But if we tell you we've got things, that's going to make it look like we have a hit on our hands.
Yeah.
I do hope Wonder Woman is a hit. I have been a DCU movie universe fan for quite some time, and it just bothers me to see it struggling so much. And every time it looks like something good comes out of it, it just seems like mishandled. And I think Wonder Woman 1984 has been mishandled. It's very weird that when a movie hits at a theater, there's a nice build of the buzz around it. But I find when I hear buzz is about movies that debut on movies like Extraction or Bird Box, they have this big burst of talking about it. And then within a week or two, we're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
I think I probably heard more people talking about Soul on Disney Plus debuting than Wonder Woman 1984. And so, but again, we don't get official numbers on this. Like, Disney is, will hold on that and then suddenly say it was a hit. But it's kind of like just anything. So, are you excited about seeing Wonder Woman 1984?
I'm looking forward to seeing it whenever I get a chance. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't like, especially with all the streaming, I don't like that you can't, that not everyone's going to be able to see it. It's not universally, like, because if I wanted to see a movie, I could, even if I was like dirt poor, I could save up for it and everything and go and see the movie. But you can't necessarily just sign up for whatever streaming there is.
Yeah, and ironically, they did have a trial that disappeared right before this.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I wasn't too thrilled with the trailers, and I'm a little nervous about the way some people are liking the film and then other people are not liking the film. Usually with Divisive, I could go either way, but that's the stupidest thing I said today. Of course, that's what Divisive is. You're going to pick one side or the other. But it would just be nice to see, DC have like one big awesome positive thing, like I guess Joker and Aquaman were sort of them, and Wonder Woman, the first one was. But I don't know. I just fear that people are going to just stop talking about this movie and that. So I paid tribute with it by watching an old Linda Carter episode.
Oh, that's good.
Series. It was nice to see. And yeah, I love Gal Gadot, but Linda Carter, with all the cheese and everything, will always be my Wonder Woman. But you know what? Continuing a little bit with the Warner Brothers stuff, what I do find interesting is that as we talked about with a couple of our guests, is that a lot of directors have been coming out talking about how they don't want their movie to screen like this, and Warner Brothers didn't even contact them to give them the option. Well, now it looks like a couple are really forcing their hand. And Legendary may have won because so far they have now looked like Dune might actually play in theaters alone. Dune's hoping that even though the movie's done apparently, because it was supposed to debut at Christmas, I think, or Thanksgiving or something. And even though it's done and everything, it's supposed to be coming out near the end of the year, but it looks like they're going to get a theatrical release. And, they're trying to stay positive because we're getting the vaccine.
Yeah.
They're thinking a high percentage of the population will be vaccinated by September. So,
Yeah.
they're trying to stay positive for it, but it looks like Dune is in it. Now, their other movie, Godzilla versus King Kong, I don't know if that one is yet. There's rumors that they're asking a ridiculous amount of money for it to get it to stream on the same day as it opens. To me, that's, I wasn't a big fan of the last Godzilla movie, but I'm still want to see King Kong and Godzilla going at it. And
Sure.
I don't necessarily want to see it in the privacy of my own home.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how big a screen you had, there's still going to be people watching it on their phones. Whoa, Godzilla! Woo! And people worry about why I'm worried that movies could disappear. If people are okay watching it on a crappy little phone, then why not just keep making smaller films and forget about the blockbusters? And I like all of them. I want to have blockbusters and I want to have other things too. Other movie news, there's a lot of movie news that happened in the last couple of weeks. MGM has, you're happy to hear about movie news. I saw a big yawn.
Sorry.
I'll try not to be so charming.
I didn't sleep well last night.
Live television. This is live as in we record it live.
I'll just edit that part out.
No, you're not going to edit it out. I want the whole thing. Your pussy was showing earlier, as in your cat made an appearance in the background. We're keeping that in. If we can get views from your pussy going around. First of all, I apologize for all these pussies jokes. I just restarted watching that old show, Are You Being Served? And for any of you old people that watched that show, there were running jokes about pussies because that's what you could get away with in the 70s. Everybody tells me all these new shows to watch. And I'm still watching old shows. During the holidays, I started watching Dark Shadows. Not even the 1990 remake. I'm watching the one from the 1960s, and I'm loving every minute of it. I've tried to watch a couple more episodes of The Mandalorian. I fell asleep twice through 2 of the episodes. I finally got through one where I didn't fall asleep. That was pretty good. There was a lot of characters I didn't like in it. And I'm not in a rush to get to it because, again, thanks to streaming, I already know the big surprise at the end of season 2.
Yep.
So once again, I've gone through years, decades, without anybody talking about who killed Laura Palmer on Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And I know who killed Twin Palmer.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because Laura Palmer, because I watched it that night when it aired.
Yes.
But, but no, I know it. I don't know how it happened, so I think it'll still be a surprise, but I may be watching Dark Shadows that night. But so MGM announced that they were going to be selling their movie lineup, their library, not their lineup. And MGM has a pretty good, extensive catalog. We're talking stuff from, the diamond in the thing is Bond, James Bond. Right. Bond, James Bond. I didn't even say it like that, but it is kind of funny. There is some problems with Bond, but we'll get to that in a minute. They also own stuff like Rocky. I believe they own The Karate Kid. I believe they own Poltergeist. Tons of stuff.
Yeah.
But they've decided they want to sell it. And what a big surprise. Disney's already eyeballing it because they're like, ooh, to own Bond would be wonderful.
Yes.
The thing that
I like how you did that like they were a Bond villain even.
Yes. I will get you, Mr. Bond. I don't know what villain that is. That sounds more like Mrs. Slocum from Are You Being Served? Oh my God, all these old references. No wonder I get my most views from the Video Archive Museum. Put me in a museum, lock me up there, throw all my stuff in there. But anyhow, the problem with owning Bond is that they don't have 100% control of it.
Right.
The Broccoli family still does, the people who originally produced it. So
Mhm.
they would have to like have a lot of, the mouse would have to really fight in order to get this. But I'm sure HBO Max, all the other streaming sites are all looking at this like, stars in their eyes, just the amount of new remakes that didn't work from the MGM catalog they could redo. Because it saddens me that we've hit a point where we can actually do remakes of remakes.
Yeah.
Like, Spider-Man was joked for the longest time that it took so long to get to the big screen. Now we've seen three different interpretations of him, and the next one is going to be maybe all of them, which that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I might put my pennies together and throw my bid in for the MGM. We need to start a streaming site. Make Count Devlin an MGM character.
Awesome.
Yeah, he could do all the Bond movies and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure this will. I can't remember. It was a lot of money they asked for.
Yeah. Of course.
That's my a lot of money. That's how I talk. Millions, maybe even billions of
Yeah.
dollars. But I'm a little confused because I think a lot of MGM plays on the Warner Brothers channel because I think they have stuff like Gone with the Wind, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there was a lion at the beginning of that.
Hmm.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think of all the movies that start with a rah. Wizard of Oz must have it because you
Yeah.
play the Pink Floyd album.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
they must have Wizard of Oz.
yeah. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I didn't expect to be talking about this, but if you're looking for something to do on New Year's, here you go. They claim that the Pink Floyd album, Dark Side of the Moon, if you press play on your Wizard of Oz thing and put the album on at a certain time, that the album matches with the movie pretty darn good. Now we've done it and
Yes.
it did. And
Hmm.
it's mind blowing. And I should actually do it again, except I don't have a record player.
Yeah.
So I'd have to, well, I think I did it with CD and it worked, but I don't have a CD player either. So I think I'm going to have to get my little MP3 player and get the Dark Side of the Moon album going. But anyhow, it's really fun to do. It doesn't cover the whole movie, obviously, but basically what you do is you press play on your video. No, you press play on the album
Yeah.
as soon as the second roar of the lion and the MGM logo plays. And yeah, Heather and I don't do drugs, and we still had a good time.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
But I know a lot of people, like to do drugs when they do this because Wizard of Oz is pretty trippy, and so is, Dark Side of the Moon. So there you go.
Yep.
Taught the boys and girls some new stuff as I make my sad references. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, well, if you don't enjoy streaming sites, how do you watch all these old shows and stuff? Well, I have a library of lots of old stuff, and that's how I just picked up the complete series of Are You Being Served? But as for my love of stuff like Dennis the Menace and Dark Shadows, there are a couple of free streaming sites out there that you can actually buy better qualities of them and then you won't get commercials. But I actually don't mind the commercials, and I watch everything from old kitchen nightmares. It's fun seeing Gordon Ramsay fixing restaurants that have closed already because it's been like 15 years since he did that episode. But every once in a while you get one that stayed open, but it's still a fun show to watch. Um, what else? But there are some that you can get. The Roku channel, Mike and I are nervous about technology no matter what. Um, I come up with ideas and then Mike thinks about it. And then after like a good couple of months of thinking about it, we give it a try. So we finally gave this Roku channel a try. And all you had to do was press a button and load it in and okay, we're good. It's got commercials. And we've been getting so much use out of it. It's crazy. But we now found another one that is almost like it, but they have a little bit more movies on it. And they have pretty much the same shows. But that's how I found Dark Shadows. And it's a place called Tubi. So if you're, running out of stuff on your Disney Pluses, your HBO Maxes, your Netflixes, try some of these free things because you'd be surprised the movies they have. Now they're not going to have like Avatar or Jaws or
No.
Star Wars or anything, but you're surprised at the movies you do find on there. And I found some treasures. This holiday season, I found like a great little movie called Holiday Affair. I found a great horror Christmas movie called Better Watch Out, which I can't wait to see again. But right now I've overdosed on Christmas, and I'm just kind of okay. I'm done with Christmas now. I know some people still like to watch Polar Expresses and Santa Claus movies, but not me. I'm like, once I'm down, I limit. I still play a couple of Christmas songs on my MP3 because
Sure.
I go into full fetal position if it just ended. Christmas is done.
Yes.
No more happiness, no more anything.
That's
Because
right.
as I said, I go into my blue period, and I got to prepare for that. Last year, I don't think it was as bad because my working on it, but the Christmas crash is real. So when we do a show next week, I could be in the middle of it, and if I am, I may talk about it. Do you ever crash after New
Oh
Year's and
yeah,
everything?
of course. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's very common.
I think so.
And with me, I also have my birthday in there. This is not a plea for people to remember.
I remembered.
January 2nd. Well, of course you remember, but
I know.
I'd be hell to pay if you didn't remember. No, I'm kidding. How long did it take for me to learn yours? I
Years.
still just learned it about a year ago, and we've been friends for over like
But
30
you
years.
always had approximately the right day.
Yeah, well, I was always a day off, and then I even asked you if you'd change it to make it easier for me. Usually you would have, but this was one you held strong on, and you would not change your birthday. I'm still going to work on it, though. Please don't ask me what it is because I'd have to think about it.
I won't ask.
But yeah, I have like, you know, New Year's, then my birthday,
Yeah.
then crash. Sometimes it happens earlier. I know it's happening a little bit earlier right now because of personal reasons, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'll be strong enough to get through it. I certainly was strong enough to get through this show, so yay to
Yay.
me. And we should wrap it up. I think we've talked a lot about it. So if you're rich enough to buy MGM, please, just somebody that's not Disney buy it. I have no problems with Disney owning everything, but I do have problems with it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, let's give another one of those channels hope. There's a couple of places that actually probably need it more, but of course Disney has the money. But they're probably spending so much money on like the 900 Star Wars shows coming out and the 800 Marvel movies coming out, you know, but nothing for the Austin and Alley reunion special. My God, what are these people? They need me in there. But
Yep.
anyhow, we're going to wrap things up. Thank you, Corda, for being here. Do you have any end of the year wisdoms that you want to share with people?
No.
Don't get
Happy New
pregnant.
Year.
Don't get pregnant. That was her saying it. We did clutch cargo lips on her. So, I actually thought that if I put my hand like this, it would come over to your screen for a minute. This is how
That would be awesome.
and you know what's even weirder? Is this is going to air on the other side of you. Because whenever you put this up, I'm on the other side of you than when we're filming. So I should be doing this.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. I will learn technology, but really, isn't the fun of it me not knowing it?
That's right. Yes.
Anyhow, we hope 2020 is coming to an end. For all of the problems, I think there was a lot of good stuff that came out of it. One, Mondo nostalgia came to light. I might not have caught this idea if it wasn't. In some ways, I think I bonded with people a little more. People I don't normally talk to because we've talked a little bit on Zoom or on messages. We survived a cancer scare. I think Mike said it best when he said, I'll take anything in 2020, but the fact that we got you safe was the best thing. So for all 2020's problems and isolation and loneliness, for me, 2020 won't go down as such a bad year, just a different year. And I know there's a lot of people that are kind of looking forward to New Year's because as soon as it says 2021, people are hoping that it's all going to snap back. I think it's going to take some time. There's a pessimist side of me that thinks it won't, and this is going to be a new normal. But hopefully, the hopeful side of me actually thinks that we could see a little bit more of what we're used to normal. I just think we may not see it on 12/01
Yeah,
on New Year's Eve night.
yeah.
Um,
It's gonna take a little while.
it might take a couple of months, maybe even up to the summer. But I'm holding out hope because if we don't have hope, we have nothing. So that's how I'm going to end my New Year's talking to you.
Yeah.
You can still check the Facebook site. I'll have lots of stuff throughout New Year's and the new year, and look for new content coming soon. Thank you, Corda. Thank you, all of you, for watching. I hope you have a great New Year's, whatever you plan. And I hope it was a good New Year's if you're watching this in repeats, because I post this twice. Anyhow, have a good time no matter what you plan. And I love you and take care.